my home.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, got my vape up.
Home of the War Eagle.
Yeah.
We don't mess with Roll Tide.
We are raw and uncut today.
Mm-hmm.
Raw, really raw. Like I'm all in my PJs and stuff. So we're gonna do a little pillow talk.
Mm-hmm. So what we talking about today, babe?
The pillows.
The pillows?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't they awesome? They got like nice teal color.
That's my favorite color, by the way. Teal. What are we gonna talk about?
I think one of the other things we could talk about was how we met.
Oh my God. I'm always telling the story. You tell it now.
I'm going to tell the story, okay?
You say it.
I'm going to come in close.
I'm always telling it.
Okay. So Alicia and I were both in, well, at the time when I met Alicia, she was already out of her relationship. Mm-hmm. And I was at the end of my marriage. And at the time we met, I was still married. And we work at the same place. Actually sat like one cubicle away from one another. And
one cubicle?
Yeah, one cubicle.
That's not even one cubicle.
No.
You was like over there and I was over here. It was not even, it was like a
like face to face.
Like we had to face each other. Like it was ridiculous. Like I this is me sitting here and you guys are looking at me on the other end, so it was like that. But in person.
Okay. So we sat across from each other so we could see each other every day. God. And at that time I was pretty much at my lowest point, and I wasn't really talking to anybody at work, but I found a friend in Alicia.
Sometimes.
And she was probably the only person I really talked to at work. There were times in the morning when we would get to work and we would go to the cafeteria and get like food and stuff.
Cheese grits.
Yeah, the cheese grits was our favorite.
And one time I got you, I went and I got you the cheese grits and I paid for it and I brought it back. And he was like, "You didn't have to do that." And I'm like, "Well, why he mad?"
Yeah, because at that time I was really conflicted because I was in a marriage and I didn't want anything to seem like I was doing something wrong.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Needless to say, we became friends, and at the time when I saw her, I felt like there was some type of attraction, but I didn't want to pursue it once again because I was in a marriage and I didn't want to make matters worse, because at that time it was at its worst. Mm-hmm. So,
and he didn't tell me nothing about this. Like, I thought that he was in a happy marriage. Well, no, I didn't. But let me correct it. The way that he portrayed himself at work was like if he was in a really happy, like, you know, picket fence type dog stuff. You would never guess. Like,
yeah. Let's just say that I wasn't being authentic in how I was feeling and what I was going through. So, really had that mask on full blown all the way. So,
but he wasn't fooling me though. I mean, I wasn't disrespectful or trying to talk to him.
No.
But you can, I could sense what was going on.
Mm-hmm. And she actually did it the right way, babe. Well, baby, you did it the right way.
I did.
She wasn't a home wrecker.
No. Because I know about karma.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we worked together for a few months, and at one point I actually ended up moving from my spot that we were in, and so we weren't sitting across from one another anymore.
I'm so sad.
And I probably think, well, like a month or two later, she actually ended up getting a promotion to another department. And so for almost a year,
A whole year.
yeah, we didn't see each other again. And so, well, actually, we did.
We see
actually did.
When I published my book.
Yeah.
And I saw you, and I was in my my other car, my Nissan Road, and I saw you, and I was like, Chris, look at my book. And he's like, you published the book. I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah, and I was super happy, and the thing that really got me about Leisha is that with most women, when I would see them and hug them, if y'all know the term of the church hug, where you go, like you hug somebody from the side, you really don't get that full embrace. Well, when I hug Leisha, it's a full-on hug. It's
I don't do church hugs.
It's chest to chest, all that stuff, and to be honest, every time that I saw her, I was like super happy that I saw her, and actually at that point I knew that my marriage was about to end, and I really wanted to try to talk to her then, but I was like, no, it's too early. I can't, because then she gonna think, oh, you done had her on the side the whole time and all this stuff. I was like, I didn't need that drama. So after I saw her that last time, we didn't see each other for quite some time, and during that time that we were separate from each other, that's when I actually finally got my divorce back in July of 2017. And after I had that divorce, I dated one other person before I got with Leisha, and that was a nightmare. that was a nightmare. It's funny because in my marriage, it really didn't break my heart that it ended. But with this relationship that I was in prior to Leisha, it really messed me up. So, and that's when the point I started going through, about, which is the dark night of the soul.
Wow, I've been through that.
And I went through that very painful whole situation. But after I went through that and I got myself back in order, started going back to the gym and building up my self-confidence, and started doing what I wanted to do. I was like, I'm single, I can go out and do what I want to do. So I started hanging out with other friends, and we would go to clubs and stuff. And at this time, once again, going to clubs, I was just one of the flies on the wall, had a drink in my hand, watching everybody else having fun. But I was still getting out and I was having fun, but I really didn't dive into it. So there was this one guy I was hanging out with, my homeboy Rod, and he said, hey man, you want to go hang out with me tonight? I was like, yeah. It's like, okay, well, we got to stop by the mall first so that I can pick up these shoes before we go out. And he's one of those guys that like the Jordans and stuff. So I was like, cool, well, we're going to go out to the mall, and then we're going to head to the club and go to all the other places. Well, when I went to the mall,
guess who was there?
And we were just walking around, and Alicia was over there at one of the booths at the mall. I was like, I did like a double take, like, hold up, is that Alicia? And so something was telling me like, okay, so now you had this feeling about her before. Let's go ahead and get in contact with her and see what's going on.
You talked to me a long time.
Yeah, and once again we had that hug, and it was the deep embrace hug, and I can just feel her energy moving through me.
Nah, that was a deep hug.
Yeah,
like that was a hug. Like he didn't even have to tell me he was divorced. That hug made me know, okay, this is crazy. I'm like, he's divorced. And I'm like, how? Because I didn't even understand what was going on. I mean, I always knew, but when you get confirmation, it's different. So that hug set everything aside. Like, whoa, this is deep. And we talked for because I'm be honest, I wasn't even gonna pay him no mind. Cause I was mad at him.
Y'all, she actually blocked me. She when she found out that I was still married and I wasn't paying her any attention, she blocked me from Facebook. She blocked me from Instagram. She just like, I don't want this.
I blocked him. I was so mad.
But yeah,
I just want to be his friend though. I wasn't trying to do nothing but just be his friend.
She was. But what happened is, so I saw her at the booth at the mall. So I stopped and we talked. Like she said, we talked for like quite a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was telling you about Bitcoins and stuff.
Yeah.
And where I was making my investments and stuff and how to do it.
Yeah, but we exchanged information and she asked me like, well, whenever you want to hang out, just let me know and we'll hang out. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like super excited about it. And so one day she hit me up after that saying that because on my Instagram I was doing a lot of stuff in fitness, going to the gym, posting what I was doing. And so like she said that she wanted to get in shape and she wanted to know if I could help her out. I was like, sure. And I had the gym membership where I could bring somebody in for free. And so I was like, just meet me at such and such and we'll go and we'll work out. Yeah. So we'll go and work out. And we did that for about, like a week or so?
A week.
And then just one day, she asked me if we wanted to hang out one day. Like just go out for like drinks and stuff. I was like, yeah, I want to go and hang out and have some drinks. And when she did that, I think like a few minutes later, we actually still have the text where she sent me this, and she told me how I don't remember exactly, but she told me that she liked me, right?
I told him, I was like, I have a crush on you. Yeah,
you say the crush, yeah. And like for a minute, I didn't respond because I wasn't exactly sure how to go about it, but
he took like forever, and I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? He hates me. He didn't respond. Oh my God.
But what I did was that I responded back to it. It's like, yeah, I have a same
feelings
towards you, but
you don't know if it's sexual or you don't know what the feeling is.
Yeah, because I didn't know what it is, and when we mentioned this before, when you come in contact with your twin flame, it supersedes physical attraction. It's more of a spiritual connection, and that's what I was feeling. So
yeah,
and I didn't know it at the time because we didn't know what twin flames were at the time. So needless to say, we got together, we went out, hung out with her friends, and that night was the first time that we kissed. And that was the best kiss I ever had in my life.
Me too. What you said, baby, when you wanted to kiss me? Because I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And he told me, he asked permission. He's like, he said, you have this really overwhelming feeling right now. And you've been having the feeling all night. And I'm like, well, what's that? He's like, I really want to kiss you. And I'm like, I feel like high school.
Yeah, but...
And then my legs went up in the air like this.
But she was sitting in the car, y'all, so...
Well, after we came out the car, when he was taking me to my car, then he gave me another kiss.
But yeah, that's...
Well, yeah, not my legs went up in the air. My bad. Let me rewind. That didn't sound right. That didn't even come out right.
Her foot went up. It went up like that. It went up like that.
Not the other way. Baby, that didn't come out right. Oh my God, that didn't come out right.
But yeah, that's our story and how we came together, and since then it's like we've been on a mission to really help lift the vibration, especially when we started realizing that our relationship was a twin flame relationship, and we're both growing spiritually. We've gone to the point where we went completely vegan, slowly working our way to a raw food diet. So we're just moving forward and just growing and loving each other, loving our kids, making sure that they know that we love them and things of that nature. So it's a beautiful thing.
So that's our pillow talk. Whole half an hour.
Yeah, just rambling.
Ain't got nothing to structure.
No.
Just freestyling.
So this is us, y'all.
And our pillows.
And it's time for us to go to sleep.
I'm tired.
So, peace out.